Welcome to the kitchen of Midwest Professional Staffing and our cheesecake making here. So we make all of our cheesecakes. You can see from all the boxes here, we're all ready to go and deliver a few. We are making a raspberry cheesecake with dipped in chocolate. It's cheesecake on a stick, and every year we do a different flavor. So this year it's a raspberry, and people seem to really enjoy it. And so we thought we'd put together a video for you just to kind of show folks how we make these cheesecakes on a stick, so that you can do it with your kids. It'd be a fun family deal. So you have to do a little bit of prep work first. You do have to make the crust first. And so here's 2 packages of Oreos. Basically, in your Oreo container, your normal Oreo, you would just take 2 lines of Oreos and you'd put it in a plastic bag, and you would crush these Oreos in the plastic bag until they're very crumbly, and then you would get a little bit more than a half a stick of butter. How is that for exact? And you put it in there for about a minute and a half or so until it's melted, and then you would add your crushed Oreos to that. So I will do that now, and then I'll be right back to you when it's ready to go. So now we're back, and crushed my Oreos, have my melted butter in here. So you just put the whole works in there, and you mix it all together. Nice and easy there. And what you're trying to do is, if you get too much butter in, it's going to make the crust really hard, and you won't be able to bite through it very well. If you get too little butter in, then what happens is it'll get too crumbly, and it won't hold together when you actually make bars out of it. And so you need to kind of get just about the right amount, which is, it just needs to stick together a little bit on the fork, and maybe you can see that, but just about that consistency where it stays, but it's not wet with butter. So, and then after you get that all mixed up, you spray your pans so that it'll slide off easy. And then these are 7-inch cheesecake pans. You will probably be using this in a 9-inch cheesecake pan. So these are 2 7-inch ones. That's kind of what we use here. And you kind of put in enough to cover the bottom of the pan. And then you have to crush this into the bottom. So all you do is you take this, you take a glass, and you just pound this into the bottom of the pan. So that is all solid and ready to go. You don't have to bake these. If you have the right consistency of the crust, they'll hold together just fine. You don't have to cook them. And now the crusts, which look a little bit like that, are all ready to go, and you can set them aside, and you can give your kids what's left over here of the Oreos, or you can just put this on ice cream or anything. It's delicious. So it's butter and Oreos. How can it be bad? So we'll change spots, and we'll go on over here to the mixer, and so that we can see how we mix it all together. So we have 3 things of cream cheese, just your normal block of cream cheese in here, and it's 1 cup of sugar. Throw the sugar in there, and you kind of start that mixing a little bit. You're going to use some raspberry extract that you can get from Hy-Vee or Dolls or anywhere, and this is raspberry extract with natural flavors. And literally, you're going to hate me for this, but I kind of do it by taste, and so you just need to put a tablespoon and a half in. Some people love raspberry flavor, other people don't, so you just kind of do it by taste. So, and then you also get some frozen raspberries. These are Hy-Vee red raspberries, frozen unsweetened. And so this is what I used for the raspberries as well. And we'll use half the package for this. This is a 12-ounce package, so you'll use 6 ounces of red raspberry. You'll notice I make a lot of these, and so I don't necessarily measure as much as I should, but that's about right. And then you're going to let this mix for a while. You're going to put in your milk. That's going to hold it together, so you get a half a cup of milk. This is a full cup deal, but I'll just fill this up halfway, throw it in here, put it in the microwave for about a minute or so on high, just so that it's warm. You don't want it to be, here it's 48 seconds, that's about right. You don't want it to be hot, because the milk will separate, and gelatin, which holds it all together, will also kind of not dissolve real well. If it's too hot, it'll kind of jump out of the bowl, so to speak. So these are Knox gelatins. You can get this at any grocery store. I get them by the full box here, but you don't, of course, if you're not making 1,000 cheesecakes, you don't need to get a full box of this stuff. And so then we're going to mix this up. We have our whisk. Give it a few more seconds here. That'll be warm. You just kind of want to feel that it's warm. It's not blistering hot. And then you're going to whisk in your gelatin. And if you do it when it's too cold, it'll form little rubber balls, and that's not very good tasting. So you want to do it where you don't want to do it when it's cold, but you also don't want it to be too hot. So, and then after you whisk that in, you do something that doesn't quite look right. You're going to throw in this liquid into the mixture right here, and then it's going to mix together for 3 to 4 minutes, and we'll let it do that, and then I'll get back to you when we add the Cool Whip to it. Okay, so now you will add your half a container of whipped topping. This is an 8-ounce container, so you just divide it in half real scientifically, and you put it in there, and maybe a little bit more. And then you let that mix for a minute or two, and then while that's mixing, we'll turn that up. And then what we'll do is we'll put this mixture in the pans here. And there we go. That ought to be good mixed. So then we just take this out. There we go. And so now you can kind of see the consistency of it. You don't want it too watery, but it's not quite ready to set up yet. So you can just kind of put this evenly. I mean, for myself, I'm putting it in 2 pans. Again, you'd be putting it in 1 9-inch pan. And with these cheesecakes on a stick, you don't necessarily want to make them too thick, because you do have to cover them in chocolate. You have to dip them in chocolate, and I'll show you how to do that. But if they're too thick, they're kind of awkward to put on the stick and stuff. So that's about right. We have a little bit left over here. I'm sure Karina will take care of that. And so what we do with this then is we smooth it out. Grab a little spoon here. Just make the top nice and smooth. And same thing goes for this one. And then you're going to put it in a freezer for about an hour. And then when we take it out, we'll take it out of the pan. We'll add sticks to it. I'll show you how to do that. And then we'll freeze it overnight. And then we'll put chocolate on it. So this is going into the freezer. And when it's ready to come out, we'll continue. Alright, well, we're back. Let me show you how to make the chocolate sauce that you'll be dipping this all into. It's 1 stick of butter. It is one 12-ounce bag. This is a 24-ounce bag, so it's a 12-ounce bag of chocolate chips. I like the dark chocolate chips from Hy-Vee. They seem to have the best color and they seem to melt the best for some reason. So that's my preference. And then a 1/4 cup of oil. And the oil is there so that it gives it a nice smooth surface. And then you're going to throw it in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes. And then what happens is, while that is happening, here are our cheesecakes that we brought out, that we just put in the freezer, and they've set up now. And so what we want to do is we want to put the sticks in them. So you kind of get the form around, and you take them out of the pan, and you'll see now it holds the springform pan. And then you have that. And now all you want to do is you want to cut them. I cut them in 8 pieces. And with the size of cheesecake pan that you'll have at home, you can just do it for however you like to do it. And then we're going to get some sticks. There we go, all cut. And then you get some baton sticks. I got these at Michael's. And then you just stick them in. Don't put them right on the crust itself. Sometimes the crust will give way and they'll drop. So you kind of want to put them almost in the center. And this makes 8 bars. 9-inch pan would make probably nearly 20, 24 bars depending on how you cut them. And then this will go back in the freezer and we'll freeze it for at least 2 hours. And then when it comes out, they'll look like plain bars. And then all you would do with the plain raspberry bar is dip it into your chocolate, let it drain for a second. You'll put it on a pan, and then you'll refreeze this. This chocolate sets within 10 minutes once it's in the freezer. So you don't have to freeze it for very long, and then it's ready to go. So that's how you make the raspberry chocolate cheesecake. Here, before I jump to that, here's what your chocolate sauce looks like. And all you have to do is you just mix it together for a minute or two, and it'll turn into a very smooth chocolate like this. Which is, it's a little runnier than this normally, and so it'll turn into a nice smooth chocolate that you can dip into. So that's it. I hope you enjoy the chocolate raspberry dipped cheesecake on a stick. It seems to be very popular with our clients. All this cheesecake on a stick, it seems like our clients like it a lot. We'll make 100 boxes of these this month. And if you have any questions about it, or if we haven't been out to see you with it, feel free to call your staffing manager, and we'd love to come out and bring you out a box. So anyway, thank you. Happy cooking.